I found this Reddit post that simply asked, what's the fake Geoguessr meta you believed for way too long? So we're going to have a look at the replies, talk about them a bit, and see how fake they actually are. That only Colombia has yellow plates, had multiple rounds with yellow plates in Peru. And I'm going to assume they're only talking about South America. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know, Peru also does have yellow plates. However, there are a few things to consider. For one, they are pretty rare. Like, it took quite a while to find a location with multiple in view at the same time. But on top of that, you'll mostly see them on service vehicles like trucks and tuk-tuks. And probably one of the most important things is that this and the Colombian plate actually do look very different. Like, these ones are much lighter and smaller and kind of look like a New Jersey plate in a way. While the Colombian ones are a bit bigger and, more importantly, a lot darker, almost a shade of orange. So yeah, Colombia isn't the only country in South America to use yellow plates. However, they should be unique enough to where it's not going to be a problem. Wooden fence posts is New Zealand North Island, metallic fence posts is New Zealand South Island. I always got wooden posts in the far south. I'm on the Plonket website at the moment, huge shout out to them by the way, they've got a lot of good stuff, and I really like their explanation over here. Wooden fences with tightly packed fence posts are almost only found in the North Island. Fences which include metal fence posts are almost exclusive to the South Island. And the way this is worded, to me at least, sounds like all fence posts are wooden. It's just that in the South Island, there may be metal included as well. And that's why if you look at the comment again, they say, I always see wooden posts on the South Island. That is because they are. There are wooden posts everywhere, it just so happens that sometimes there is metal. Okay, perfect first try. All wooden fences, all very close to each other. So this should be North Island. Nice. Very next round again. Compact wooden fences. So in this round we don't have any metal fences, but these posts are very far apart. So in theory, there's a higher chance of this being South Island. And it, very North South Island, but it was. Okay, here we go. We have wooden fences and we got these very tiny things in the middle, which should be metal. So I am fully expecting South Island. Well, to me, I think that meta is very accurate and I'm very glad to have researched it a bit more. Only Norway has yellow center road lines in Europe. Well, yes, this is very much a fake meta. In fact, let's quickly go over the other countries in Europe where you may find this. I think the most obvious other example is Finland, where a lot of the time they'll have a solid yellow line with sometimes white as well and yellow on the side. In older coverage, specifically in a lot of Gen 2, you may see double yellow lines, but they are phasing those out over time, and in fact, a few times I've seen double whites on the road, but clearly painted over double yellows. And that could be worth keeping in mind if you're thinking of insta-going Canada or the US. Greece is known for having white double center road lines, but fairly rarely they can be yellow as well. Along with having epic locations, Turkey is sometimes a bit weird with what they do with their road lines. You can see all whites, all yellows, a combination of both. Although I don't remember them ever using double yellow center lines. In all of those examples, you may have noticed none of them feature just a single yellow long dashed inside road line. And also the Norwegian one in particular seems to be like a slightly orange shade of yellow, just like the Colombia plate from earlier. So yeah, Norway isn't the only country in Europe to have a yellow center line, but it's the only one, I'm pretty confident in saying it's the only one that has long dashed yellow center road lines and this particular shade of yellow. And also let me know if I should do more like Reddit discussion videos, because there are plenty of things I can talk about. Tiled roofs is Java for region guessing Indonesia. I don't really see how this is a fake meta. We're back on Plonkit and they say it pretty nicely here. Tiled roofs are most commonly found on the island of Java and nearby regions. Now they do say here that South Kalimantan and Jambi have got different roof styles, but for one, they are pretty different. Like they say in the guide, they're much flatter, but also if you see a bunch of metal sheet roofs, then you're probably not going to be in Java. But also what you might find in all of Indonesia is that they use plastic tiles for their roofs, and those have got nothing to do with normal Javanese roofs. For example, this round is in West Java, I believe, and you can clearly tell these are real roofs just by looking at the slight imperfections and just slight color changes that happen over time. But what the guide also points out is that if you see standard metal sheet roofs anywhere, then you probably aren't going to be in Java. Green blur. Now green blur refers to a green tint which you'll find on the lens of the camera in specifically Gen 3 Estonia. But this is not a fake meta. Right? Surely, look at the sky over here. It's all nice and blue, and here it's basically green. This is definitely not a fake meta. But what I do believe the fakeness comes in is when you start, this is something I do sometimes. I sometimes just imagine there's green blur in a round even though there isn't. And if we're going to be talking about that, then yes, it can become a fake meta. And I said green blurs for Estonia, but that's just where it's most famous. But you can also find it in Sweden sometimes, and almost all the time, I think almost all the time, specifically in the island of Gotland. However, if we're talking about green blurs, I think it's fine talking about car antennas. If you see green blur with a long antenna, it should be Sweden, and green blur with a short antenna should be Estonia. But speaking of Estonia, white flowers equals Estonia. It's not 100% accurate, but I would definitely say it's not accurate enough to be a meta. I mean, if you've been playing the game for a long time, you would have seen people say this a million times. I personally don't know whether it's real or not. It seems pretty accurate, but who really knows? So what I decided to do is ask all of you in a community post. And as of recording this, 68% of you say this is a real meta. Which is pretty good, but that is nowhere near high enough for it to be a real meta in my opinion. 68% is not enough. So what I decided to do after that is ask a pro player, and this is what Kodiak said. Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be cool to have videos titled, I travelled to my Geoguessr rounds, or 10 Geoguessr tips in real life? Well, that would only be possible by becoming a channel member, because thanks to all of you, I'm officially in the YouTube Partner Program, which I am very grateful for. Become an elite bollard today for absolute greatness. Thank you for watching.